All right, and we are live. Welcome to the SEO news for week 22, which was last week. I've gathered all the interesting news, and let's just go through them. My name is Frederick Drost. I work at precisedigital.com. Sadly, I do not have my co-host here, but it doesn't matter. Let's just try and go through it anyway. He will be missed though. Um, yeah, a lot of AI mode stuff here going on. It was a busy week in terms of news last week. One thing I wanted to note is this is just a sheet where I put my SEO news in. I've changed the categorization. Before it was all about search GPT and AI search, and I've changed that category to just be called LLMs and AI visibility. So I clearly want to what I want to do is show the difference between AI overviews and AI mode, and then LLMs and that visibility. I think those are two distinct because Google is still using its index versus LLMs might not. So I just wanted to kind of phrase that, and it kind of shows where we're heading in terms of SEO as well. So I'm kind of adapting to that. But let's just jump right in. The first article here is I Pull Rank. Great blog to follow, of course, and this is one of the best articles on AI mode and SEO. It's very detailed. It's very good. Um, I'm not going to go through all the details. One of the things that really stood out to me is that SEOs must evolve into relevance engineering, meaning content needs to be optimized at a passage level granularity, structured for semantic retrieval, and designed explicitly to align with hidden reasoning chains within AI systems. So I really like that. And again, I think if you're doing good SEO holistically, like not just for hyper focused, but like overall good SEO and slash online visibility strategy for a while, you're pretty much set and can continue on that with a few tweaks. So yeah. Um, the next one here, it's also a thing that stood out on LinkedIn and is probably going to be the next buzzword within SEO is the Google query fan out technique. So people are testing AI mode, and one of the things it's doing, if you ask it a question, a prompt, or search for something, it's going to try and find related searches and also search for those. And I think it's a really interesting technique, and it makes sense. Like we talked about this a little bit last week, it makes a lot of sense that Google would do this. And this means, for example, that a lot of like we might gain visibility on some search because it's related. So we might not be ranking for the initial search, but because we've created a good topic cluster, we've covered the topic with specific URLs answering specific questions. We can get featured in that way in AI mode. And I think our content strategy should focus a lot more on hyper focused, long-term, long tail keywords slash answering niche questions on a given URL and kind of connecting that into a topic cluster, which we have been telling people to do before, but now I think there's just a lot more value to it than before. So yeah, let's see here. I want to show. I thought there was a diagram in here, but not really. But yeah, very good article from Aleda Solis, of course. And again, here, Google's AI mode is all about follow-up questions. And Mr. Djan from Twitter here, he created a tool that can basically kind of fan out those queries. So given an initial query, it can find all the other related queries, which again is kind of just like related searches and things you found in the SERPs previously. If I Google something in Google, it would tell you people also search for this, related terms, etc. So we're kind of in that same area. It's a very cool tool there. Um, Also, Lily Ray shared a really interesting piece of news here regarding local SEO and how it's becoming more important because AI mode is firstly linking to your Google My Business profile before linking to the website when it comes to certain queries. So I think that's quite interesting. So yeah, if you don't have your Google My Business profile up to date, there's even more bigger reason to do it in the near future if AI mode becomes a standard. So thank you, Lily Ray, for that. And so now we've kind of talked a lot about AI mode here, and we're going to go then into a little bit more larger LLMs and studies there. And again, here's a really good, I would say, a really good guide here. And basically, ranking in Google equals sources in LLMs and AI mode. So what's important to remember here is classic SEO has this effect on future AI mode results, but also sources in LLM. So it's really interesting. Let's see if I can share the tweet here from Mr. David Quaid. Um, So really a good summary here. What's going on in terms of like AIs will use consensus. I really like the fact that you can rank even if you disagree with the topic. So non-consensus. So yeah, pretty interesting. But ranking in Google equals ranking perplexity as well. So yeah, follow this guy. He's really good stuff he's sharing. But yeah, again, not a large study, but this study from ziptie.dev is really interesting. And you can see here the main point again is SEO remains important for visibility in AI-powered search engines. So top 10 rankings in Google increases the likelihood of inclusion in AI-generated responses. And I think that is good news for us. And it's good news when it comes to the work we've been doing previously when it comes to SEO and in the future. Again, we will have to tweak the way we do SEO, but you can see this pyramid here. It's traditional ranking, relevant content, other ranking signals in the pyramid here. So very interesting. We can see the AI source selection based on your ranking position in Google as well, kind of dropping very quickly, especially after 5, 6, 4. So again, Google is such a good search in it's declined in quality in recent times, but I would say it's still quite a good search engine overall. And it optimizing for that means you are creating better content. You're creating more trust, you're creating more brand awareness and visibility if you do that correctly and healthy way, which would then make sense to correlate with source citation. It doesn't know if it's the same rankings signals they're using, but if they're using other search engines that are also trying to achieve what Google is, this makes a lot of sense. So again, I'm just happy that SEO is tightly connected to source selection in AI engines. That is good news for us, and we're the best equipped to kind of take over this AI visibility and search optimization. And again, another large study here on factors correlating with brand mentions in LLMs. So a little bit more focused on brands, but pretty good study here from Ahrefs, or at least it's on the Ahrefs blog. It's by Louise Linham. And this is really interesting. So what do we got here? We got brand web mentions is the highest, or has the highest correlation with being cited or appearing as a source, or just your brand appearing in LLMs. So that's really interesting. But I also love domain rank. And domain, so it looks like a lot of these are kind of like the same ranking factors you might see in Google. Branded anchors, branded search volume is very interesting as well. URL rating, and then I love the ad cost, ad traffic. Like that shouldn't matter, but I guess that kind of correlates to visibility, especially when it comes to traffic. If you're visible on a lot of ads or a lot of placements everywhere, then you're getting more brand awareness, which should influence brand search volume, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all kind of correlated. So just a really good correlation study here. And then finally from Spark Toro here, where he's kind of just being a little bit cheeky, telling people to stop with the new acronyms. Sorry, and it's the conclusion at least is what's interesting. He's saying SEO just means search everywhere optimization now instead of search engine. So kind of like that. I like that narrative. And yeah, you can see here there's different charts showing where we're going here. So I really think this is, I mean, look at the search engines. They're really limited actually, and search everywhere optimization is just what we are supposed to do. If you're a senior level SEO consultant, if you're a large brand that are investing a lot in SEO, or just an agency, this is definitely the approach we should be having to SEO. Now, again, we have to prioritize based on budget. You have to prioritize based on the biggest effect. Where can we get most traffic, most value for our money? But the multi-platform, area is good. I think it's healthy. Google has been dominating for way too long, so this is good. We just need to adapt to it, of course, and adapt our strategies as well. So really good article here by Rand Fishkin, who is also a really good follow on Twitter, of course. So search everywhere is now the new word. I'm probably going to update my LinkedIn. And then let's get into a little bit of classic SEO here. Thank God. We've got some interesting insights from Google suggesting that database speed beats page count when it comes to crawl budget. So crawl budget is usually only an issue for really large sites, but when it does become an issue, especially also news publishers, we have a really good article here suggesting database speed is the priority when it comes to that, and we can then focus on maybe removing other pages, which is not sometimes something you can just do. So next up, we have a really good article here on, well, an article, yes, on the new KPIs for the generation AI. And I like that. I mean, you can see we've got the classic old school organic sessions, bounce rate, and they're great, but he's suggesting they're fading. And he's moving into, again, these are very technical, but vector databases, embeddings. We've got all these sorts of things. And I like the chunk retrieval frequency, attribution rate in AI outputs, embedding relevancy score. It's something interesting. I think people have been working on this for a few years now. So actually taking an article, finding out how relevant it is to the keyword you want to rank for in terms of embeddings. So, and it's something you can easily set up and actually check. So I think these are really, really good KPIs to add slowly into your reporting. We've already started with a few. Very good article here, I must say. And then a small little bug here. Apparently, Google's AI mode, which is only in the US for signed in users that opted in using labs, so still quite limited. But that AI mode traffic was mistakenly labeled direct instead of organic. That bug has now been fixed according to Google. So if you have some discrepancy in your dashboard for US, now you know why, or could be one of the solutions. And then Djan here, SEO. What is his real name? Let's see. Yeah, Djan. There you go. Great follow on Twitter as well. And he basically kind of got AI mode to print some of the behind the scenes JSON there. That's the output. So I love the comment here that people are saying that AI mode is basically a chatbot with a Google search API call, which makes this quite a very simple, interface or solution. But I'm assuming there's a lot more when it comes to displaying it, and there's several queries that are launching. But I could imagine that once that is set up, I mean, if I had to build an AI mode, with the queries and having access to Google's index and search API, I think it'd be pretty easy. Just making sure you get the right outputs, structuring them. It doesn't sound like a very complicated solution. The technology behind it, the LLM, of course, is, but they have access to their own index. And once you add a chatbot system and a few basic rules on what should be shown and not, I think it's a very simple solution that's relying on a lot of work, of course, with the search API and the LLMs. So very interesting there. And he got banned for doing that, basically. So watch out. Banned from AI mode, so to speak. And then Lily Ray, of course, has a lovely rant on why AI mode is designed to keep users as much as possible in AI mode. Again, I know Google wants to make money, but it can do that while also attributing correctly and sending traffic to valuable websites. My guess is Google wants you to keep you on AI mode until you reach a point where there are ads. And that's where they make money. So if there's any search where there's no ads or no need for ads, it'll keep you going until there is ads. And and then might also have search results. But again, just give us some traffic, Google. I mean, it's where we don't want our content to be stolen just so you can keep people on your tool. But yeah, the ongoing trial against Google for having a search monopoly is still ongoing, and they're actually starting to talk about AI things as well. So try and keep you posted on that as we go on. Cool. We've got Reddit Trends is officially live. So it's a tool that gives you, that can basically show you how often your brand is being mentioned in different subreddits. That's really cool. So try it. That's a really, really cool tool, and I would love to know that for some of my clients. We've got not but New York Times article about how Google is stealing traffic to just use for their own gain, and not really, again, referring or giving us proper attribution / traffic. And the fact that New York Times is now publishing this stuff means people waking up to this idea that you might be ruining the incentive to even create good content anymore. And if you remove the incentive, nobody will create good content. And then we've got this weird feedback loop where it just degenerates the quality of anything on the internet over time. So the fact that other people waking up to this is interesting. And finally, here from NewsDash, a survival guide, survival guide for news publishers on how to survive the AI generation. And it's quite a good one. I mean, just this is actually quite good. I would say a step-by-step process. We don't have a lot of news publishers. I did work with a few in the past, but overall, it's a pretty good playbook. So if you're into that area online, then have a look at this. This is quite a solid playbook. And that was it for this week's news. I hope you enjoyed them. All the things you've seen here, the descriptions. I'll have short descriptions, titles, and the links in the video description and the podcast description as well, so you can go and check them out. I'm not going to go into detail a lot of these. I would recommend you read them yourself. Yeah, like, subscribe. If you have any comments, feel free. If you didn't like, tell me why, and I'll try and adapt. And otherwise, I will see you guys and girls next week.